The Birthday Wish. An extended story. The rain had been falling for 3 hours straight, each droplet racing down the floor-to-ceiling windows of Rosie's café like tears of remembrance. Maya Henderson sat in her usual corner, watching the city transform under the gray October sky. The warm amber lights inside the café cast a golden glow across her face as she traced patterns on the wooden table with her fingertip. 1 year ago today, everything changed. The memory played in fragments, the screech of brakes, the shattering glass, the silence that followed. Then, months of hospitals, physical therapy, and learning to navigate a world suddenly viewed from a different height. But Maya had learned something profound in those 12 months. Sometimes the most beautiful chapters of our lives begin with the most difficult sentences. Mama? The soft voice belonged to Emma, her 5-year-old daughter, who had been Maya's constant companion through the hardest days. Emma's curly brown hair was adorned with small clips that David had painstakingly learned to place just right each morning. Her floral dress swished as she approached carefully, as if sensing the weight of the day. Behind Emma stood David, Maya's husband of 8 years. His dark cardigan hung loosely over his white t-shirt, and his jeans were slightly wrinkled, evidence of a man who had spent the morning wrestling with a kindergartner's backpack and lunch preparations. But his eyes held something else today, a mixture of nervousness and hope that Maya recognized from their wedding day. "We have something for you," David said, his voice carrying the same gentle tone he'd used during those first terrifying weeks in the hospital when Maya thought their world had ended. Emma giggled, bouncing on her small boots. "It's a surprise, Mama! Daddy and I made it together." From behind his back, David produced a small chocolate cupcake, homemade and slightly lopsided, with a single birthday candle flickering bravely on top. The flame danced in the cafe's warm light, casting tiny shadows that seemed to chase away the gray afternoon. Maya felt her breath catch. "But it's not my birthday," she whispered, though her hands reached out instinctively to accept the offering. "No," David agreed, kneeling beside her wheelchair so their eyes were level. "It's better than that. Emma, tell Mama what day it is." Emma climbed onto the empty chair beside Maya, her face serious with the importance of her announcement. "Today is your new life birthday, Mama. Daddy explained it to me. He said that sometimes grown-ups get a second chance to see how wonderful everything really is. But first, something really hard has to happen." Maya's eyes filled with tears as she looked down at the cupcake. The chocolate frosting was uneven, clearly the work of loving but inexperienced hands. A few rainbow sprinkles had been scattered on top, probably added by Emma when David wasn't looking. "I don't understand," Maya managed, though something deep inside her chest was beginning to warm. David reached for her free hand. "This year, you've taught Emma and me what real strength looks like. You've shown us how to find joy in smaller moments, how to appreciate what we have, instead of mourning what we've lost. Emma talks about you to her friends like you're a superhero." "Because you are," Emma interjected. "Mrs. Johnson at school said her grandma uses a walker, but you have the coolest chair ever, and you can still do everything. Plus, you give the best hugs, because I don't have to reach up so high anymore." Maya laughed through her tears, remembering all the ways her life had indeed become richer. She noticed sunrises now, taking time to watch the light creep across their bedroom walls. She heard every word of Emma's bedtime stories, because she was always at the perfect height for whispered secrets. She and David talked more, deeper conversations that stretched late into the night, because they'd learned how precious their time together truly was. "You know what I realized?" Maya said, watching the candle's flame flicker. "This past year, I've been so focused on what I lost that I almost missed everything I gained." Outside, the rain continued its percussion against the windows, but inside the cafe felt like a warm embrace. Other patrons moved around them, but Maya only saw her family, this small, imperfect, beautiful unit that had weathered the storm and emerged stronger. "Make a wish, Mama," Emma urged, her small hands clasped together in anticipation. Maya closed her eyes, feeling the weight of the past year settle into something that felt less like burden and more like foundation. When she opened them, she saw David's face full of pride and endless love, and Emma's bright smile that could light up the darkest days. "You know what?" Maya said, taking a deep breath. "I don't need to wish for anything to change. I wish for everything to stay exactly as it is, full of love, full of possibility, and full of the three of us figuring it out together." She blew out the candle, and Emma cheered while David leaned in to kiss her forehead. As the flame disappeared, Maya broke the cupcake into 3 equal pieces because she'd learned that the sweetest moments are always better when shared. Outside, the rain began to slow, and the first rays of afternoon sun broke through the clouds, casting rainbow prisms through the cafe windows. Maya smiled, realizing that sometimes the most beautiful beginnings come disguised as endings, and sometimes the very thing that breaks you is exactly what you need to become whole. The end.